Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday. Would your childhood make a good TV show? Would it be a sitcom or a touching drama? Would it need huge twists to make people tune in? I'm thinking back on my childhood, and I think I have the makings of a pretty good sitcom. My parents were about 20 years apart in age. They were both married to other people when they met. I had a sister who was 18 years older than me, who had a variety of boyfriends. And I resented her every time she came home. So, that's a good part of every sitcom. Sibling rivalry across 18 years and occasional visits home. So little suburban lifestyle there. And I could see it.
California.
I could pitch it in California where it does actually rain occasionally. But, I had a pretty good childhood. But there were some, being extremely short all through my life, that could be a good sitcom basis. And certainly I feel there are things that happened to me because of that formed the personality I have now, for mostly worse. And but sometimes better. So what about you, Catherine? Could you pitch a show based on your childhood? And what sort of show would it be?
Yeah, I think we could probably do the sitcom also, because we had sort of a paler version of like a Mr. Mom / who's the boss situation going on. Because my mom worked outside the home, which, was fairly unusual.
Yeah.
At least in our community at that time. And my dad he worked also. But we always had a housekeeper / babysitter
really?
of some sort.
The Manny.
Yeah, we never had a Manny. We always had women, and they were usually graduate students of my parents, because my parents worked at a university. So we had we had everything from the French au pair to the married mom with a little kid who would bring the kid to, your basic college student or grad student. So we had the whole, I think there could be a whole, you could have quite a cast of characters.
Yeah.
That way, probably.
Would both of ours need to be period sitcoms? I think mine would have to pretty much belong to the 70s, but yours too, maybe.
Yeah, probably to make it work.
Yeah.
I think.
How about you, Nicole? We've talked before about the Canada content you need to produce. You're coming to America miniseries on PBS, notwithstanding. What would your childhood TV show look like? Drama, comedy, dramedy?
I think it would be more of like a documentary on survival skills in the North. I think about, the winters that we had, and we lived in a community that was, a good an hour from another community. So you had to drive an hour to get to the neighboring community, and in between was nothing but forest.
Wow.
And then the nearest city was 5 hours away. Wow. So if you wanted any services like, orthodontist or a shopping mall or McDonald's even, we had to drive 5 hours for that.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So it was very much, it's pioneering.
Yeah.
Pioneering documentary.
It's be like Northern Exposure, the Canadian family drama version.
That's right. It was, how do we get to school when it's 40 below zero? Or
wow.
how do we get groceries when the snowplows haven't plowed the road yet?
Wow.
And our skidoo, I remember one time some friends and I wanted to go skiing, and the ski hill was on the other side of town. We had a little hill, and we actually put on our skis and skied across town to the ski hill.
You skied to go skiing. Yeah. That is wonderful. I think somebody needs to make that show right now. I would watch that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So when your kids complain, they get nothing from you, right?
Nothing. No. Because when I was your age,
my mother would have to get on a snowmobile to bring me my homework.
And she'd say, forget it.
I think that lifestyle would be pretty unbelievable to most people because most of us live in populated areas.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah. You should write a memoir.
A memoir. You know, my dad did, actually.
Did he?
And he published it 2 years ago. And it's actually pretty interesting because he's a geologist and he's traveled and lived around the world and lived in some pretty crazy places. So maybe his life would be an interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe.
So,
well, speaking of family drama, now that's you. Okay, so we've got texts from Nicole's daughter. We've got a phone call from my son. This is the when
this
we write
this is a drama in itself.
Exactly. When we write our sitcom about our podcast, this will be a recurring theme. We'll flash back to all the times when various family members interrupted. But, bringing it into the present day, we've talked about what sort of TV shows our childhood might produce. How about the family life we are living right now? Do you think our kids will have a case in the future to have touching flashbacks to their early days, or will it be something that they will try to, block from their memories?
Go to therapy for?
That's right. In my case, I think I don't believe I have seen a touching family drama about international special needs adoption. That seems like there's room for that. Of course, if it was done from my children's point of view, it would then be second guessing every decision I've made in the last, 22 years. So maybe not. It was from my point of view, though. It would be a heroic mother fighting for her children.
That's right. It'd be all about that heroic mother.
If it's going to be one of these multiple point of view things, I might be in trouble. Well, Catherine, you would have the drama about the ice skating life, right?
Right. It would just be dance moms, but at the ice rink. Because I'm not only at the ice rink for figure skating, I'm also there for hockey. So it would be all about rink rat life, I guess.
Ice mom.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that seems like there's material there. I'm going
to have to learn how to drive a Zamboni, though, if we do that show, because there's some rinks where the parents actually drive the Zamboni.
Yes, I could see that being a recurring theme in the episode. Either you get out your aggression by driving the Zamboni, or you have your reflective moments or your thoughtful conversations with your child.
It's more meditative, I think, because you have to do it kind of slow and you go back and forth. And, I don't think you could be angry and riding Zamboni because you probably crashed through the boards. And that would be bad.
That would be bad.
All the other parents would be very angry.
They would. But there's sort of a zen of Zamboni driving, you just kind of settle in. And
that's what I think it would be, more of a zen situation. I don't know.
I possibly need to know how to drive a Zamboni too then. That sounds nice. Slowly driving around, getting something done, doing something significant.
Seeing the fruits of your labor immediately.
Absolutely. Yes. In super slick ice for your child to fall on. So awesome.
Yes.
How about you, Nicole? What would your series of a wilderness-raised Canadian raising children in Southern California?
Yeah, that would be a good, probably be a comedy. Well, my kids, my kids grew up.
Yeah.
They were lucky enough. Sorry, my dog is very excited to be part of this conversation.
Yes. Your dog is saying, I have an idea. You could have a series about a dog.
I think it would be a comedy about moving to America from Canada.
That's right. Coming to America. Canadian version.
Even though it looks like we're similar on the surface, we are very different, which has caused a lot of cultural situations that would be funny. So anyway, yeah.
You know what you need for your family, for your ice skating TV show there, Catherine? I think you need to have an alpaca in the backyard.
Oh my God.
I think that would just give that little or Nicole for her she could have a moose in the backyard. That would be good.
Oh yeah. Let's try.
Oh, I would much rather have that than tarantulas and scorpions, let me tell you.
Well, yes.
That would be,
Do alpacas eat tarantulas and scorpions?
I don't think
could be another upside. Well, continuing in our TV theme here for another few minutes, just because we're going to milk this as hard as we can. Does the ability to revisit earlier times in your life appeal to you? Would seeing a meaningful flashback help you in the present? Is there a big turning point in your past you would like to go back and tweak and let the space-time continuum fall where it may? I do not think I would have the guts to reverse everything because I would be afraid that I would get back and, terrible things would have happened. But I would like to be transported kind of in an It's a Wonderful Life sort of way back to major turning points that I have second-guessed for years and years. So I could convince myself that at the time it was the right decision. I see why I did that. I will be at peace with this now. Catherine, is there anything you would like to travel back to, either physically or flashback style, to try to explain what is happening in your life now?
I don't know to explain what's going on now, but I think it would be nice to be able to go back, when your kids were littler
and see them again
and like visit them when they're babies or when they're like funny little preschoolers or when they have missing teeth or whatever, like you can look at pictures, and even watch videos, but it's not the same. And it would be kind of sweet to be able to just go back and
you feel like
just pop in and visit and then switch back to the.
Do you think it would make you appreciate those little kids more or make you appreciate your current kids more?
I think maybe it would make you appreciate like how far they've come.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. How about you, Nicole? Would you?
And that way you don't have to like have another baby or another dog or another alpaca. You could just go visit.
Every time you think you'd like to have another child, you could just go back in time and remind yourself what diapers were like.
Oh, look at this cute little baby. And now when it starts screaming, I'll just switch back to my current.
I do remember back the days when my son was, right after we adopted our kids, and my son was so small, I would sit him on my hip facing away from me, and he would take in the world that way. And that I would have such a sweet memory of that. And now that he's this big galoot, but I wouldn't mind going back and doing that again. And certainly when my daughter was young and some moments we shared then, that would be kind of sweet to revisit.
Yeah.
And Nicole wants to go back to her old days of skiing across town.
Yeah. No, I would go back to, I miss Canada. I miss living in Canada. So I think I would probably flash back to moments that I had there. And, there were favorite places that I would love to revisit and, people and I just would like to do that. And then my kids, I think I would appreciate them a little bit more now. If I had, I think I would love to go back and just, hold them for 5 more minutes or not worry about the dishes in the sink or, videos and photos are great. But what I did what I have found helpful though, my husband used to do this, or he did it throughout my kids' childhood. He would record their voices. And I love hearing their voices when they, from when they were little and how they spoke and some of the words they used. Nice. And so parents, if you've got young kids, record their voices because you'll enjoy listening to it when they get older.
That's a really good idea. And then when they get older, you can play it for them and embarrass them.
Yeah.
I never sounded like that.